All right, so let's work on this example here using the properties as well as the summation rules. So here again, we have the sum of 4i plus 4 as I goes from 1 to 4. So we first want to look and determine which properties are we going to use here. Because we have a plus sign, we're going to be using property number 3, or excuse me, property C. And if you remember from C, where we're going to distribute, okay? So then we have here the sum of 4i as I goes from 1 to 4 plus the sum of 4 as I goes from 1 to 4. Also, what's another property we're going to use? We will use here. Let's look at this first term. We're going to be using property number, and I say number, but letter B, going back to your summation properties, okay, where we're going to factor out this 4. That's with the I. So we have 4 times the sum of I as I goes from 1 to 4 plus the sum of 4 as I goes from 1 to 4. Next, we're going to look at our rule because we need to, our summation rules, we need to set up I. And going back as far as reviewing, going back from the previous video, we talked about what happens when we have a term that is I or I squared. What is that equal to? So here is I, and what we're going to do is that we're going to take this summation of 4, okay, which is the number of terms in the summation, which is 4, and we're going to substitute that in for the variable n for what the sum of I is equal to as I goes from 1 to n, but our n here is 4. So let's go ahead and set that up. We're saying here 4 times, okay, and we're saying n times n plus 1 all over 2, and for n we're going to substitute 4 in there. So we're saying 4 times 4 plus 1 all over 2 plus, now what property are we going to use here where we have a constant? Well, we're going to use that property A, where we're going to multiply the constant and the number of terms in the summation. So we're saying 4 times 4. So let's work the bracket here. We have 4 times 5 over 2 plus 16. We have 4 times 20 over 2 plus 16. That will give us 4 times 10 plus 16. And then we have 40 plus 16. That gives us 56. Okay, so using those properties and using those rules, and let's write down what rule did we use here. We used the summation rule letter, or the first one, we'll say 1, we'll call it number 1. Okay, and we have the solution of 56.